Yes. You know what that means, y'all. It's time to
You know what time it
kiki
is.
with your girl Lee and Ree, your girls,
Hey.
your favorite besties, tuning in for this Mother's Day. Listen here. Now we don't. I'm giddy right now. I don't know if y'all could tell because it's just been so long since hip hop. Can you hear me, Ree?
I can hear you.
It's just been so long since hip hop has given me this type of excitement, and it's not because of the beef; it's because of the good content. Like I'm not even a Drake fan, but even he was coming harder. Like, like finally, people. Kendrick always comes hard in his defense. He don't ever sleep on nothing, but it just felt good. Like oh man, I'm giddy like a kid back in the 90s. I really am right now. I really am. So I'm trying to contain it. All right, so. Yes, it is time for our hot takes. More beef, no Diddy. I get it? I'm going to say that again. More beef, no Diddy. Get it? Get it? Of course, Kendrick, I did a song with Metro Boomin.
Yes, yes.
And he said, he didn't really shit on nobody. He just said, fuck top 3. It's just big me. I mean, clearly, it's the truth. It's like,
appropriate. That was appropriate.
That's appropriate. He's not saying y'all aren't obviously talented, but you ain't me.
Right.
And you not. Right. So Drake felt some type of way about that because as we can see with this beef, Drake's ego is up to here. The humility is not existent. And that's the problem. That's how he just fucked himself, but we'll get into that. Long story short, Drake started calling this nigga out. And Kendrick wasn't really coming back until, going back to my notes, Euphoria comes out. No, wait, Push-Ups. And then Kendrick came out with Euphoria. And that's pretty much, after that, it was just kind of a wrap because I guess apparently in Push-Ups, I'll be honest with you, till this day I haven't listened to Push-Ups because I have no desire to listen to Drake shit. I'm just I've listened to the other stuff, but not that. Yeah, but apparently Drake came at him about some family personal stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's why if you notice in Euphoria, he wasn't even going too bad. But he basically was just like, he warned him. He said, you won't tell no lies on me. I won't tell no truth about you. You don't want to go there. Leave my family out of it. He basically said that. And that was him letting us know, let's have a friendly, not deep, not disrespectful. Let's just have a friendly A plus B equals 1, 2, 3 battle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Drake did not do that. Drake did not do that. He got his feelings hurt. He came out. Let me stay on task here because honestly, I don't know about you, but I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah,
well, it's not anymore. But at first, when it kept happening, it was very overwhelming. Mind you, I was in Nassau with my good sis eating conch salad, trying to keep up. Here go Reed, another one. Nassau Reed, because I'm like, no, you're lying, and she's not lying. And I was just like, what is going on? So I'm kind of still like, for me to like break it down to y'all. Normally I'm on top of my shit, but honestly, this shit was a blur.
Reed, well, it was interesting because I love the point when, I think Drake had dropped something and then Kendrick dropped again. But then before Drake could even respond, Kendrick dropped second time in a row. Yes. And when he did that, I was just, in my mind, I was like, first of all, it's just like a Gemini to pull some shit like that.
Yes.
Number one. Yes. And number two.
No, you don't, bitch. Just like, no, you don't, bitch. Stop, bitch.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
bitch. And just in case you thought, here's just a little bit more to like seal the deal. You know what I mean? But I loved it. Yes. I loved seeing it. I loved, there's many different reasons why I love this moment. One is because, to my knowledge, at this level of, fame and notoriety, any rappers at that level, I feel like Kendrick is the first to really come out and speak to what you and I have been saying, what women have been saying.
Absolutely.
What men and women really have been saying about our culture right now, whether it's from
and just to continue on that real quick, just to continue on that, for example, here you go. Wait, why did it do that? But just to continue on what you were saying, I'm gonna speed it through just a little bit to that middle part where you
I see two of them kissing and hugging on stage. I love her to death, and in 8 bars I'll explain that phrase. It's not nobody can tell me. I don't wanna talk on no celly. You know I got language barriers. It's no accent you can sell me. You're Cole and Ivory know I'm a selfish nigga. The crown is heavy. I pray they my real friends. If not, I'm YNW Melly. I don't like you popping shit at Pharrell for him.
Hold on real quick. You hear what he's saying? He basically, to add to what you're, just the beginning of it, because listen, there's a whole, shouts out to Shay. She's, she got to handle some business, so she's not here today. So me and Rhea stepping in as producers, and we're not producers, so bear with us. But she gave me an outline here. And there's so much that happened. The reason why I stopped to play that, we got to start from the beginning here. And it's so much that happened. So I just played that part because he's basically acknowledging again, I see y'all niggas on stage, whatever, I'm the best, blah, blah, blah. Throwing little subtle shit, but he's basically letting you know, like, don't play with me. Like, this is a warning. Like, like let's keep it cute, Aubrey.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He basically kind of at the same time said, you know, Cole, like, we really friends. So let's are you gonna be my friend? Like, are you gonna stay out of this? And shout out to J. Cole, because a lot of people were shitting on him, in my opinion. I think he did the absolute right thing. For him to be caught up in this shitstorm right now, he did the right thing. Can you imagine if he was caught up in this shit?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't want to be involved either. I wouldn't want to be involved.
100%.
Any of this.
But okay. Just to stay on the timeline of it, Ree, as far as Euphoria goes, if there's any important parts from Euphoria that you want me to point out right now, I can do that.
I would say no,
just sticking with Euphoria.
Parts. Yeah, no specific parts, but I love the way Kendrick handled it. He eloquently and intelligently spoke to the state of rap. He spoke to whatever message Drake feels that he's trying to bring. He spoke to the followers of Drake. He spoke to Drake's family.
He spoke to that man's conscience.
You know, he spoke to, and I don't know. I just think he did a great job all around. Like, I loved that experience. And I don't think we all necessarily realize it yet, but this is more than just a hip hop beat at this point. Like,
absolutely.
This is a moment where we can kind of take a pause and say, like, what do I really want to stand for in all different aspects of my life? What kind of person do I want to be? What kind of man do I want to be? What kind of woman I want to be, or what have you? You know what I mean? What do I want to stand on?
You hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head.
You know what I mean? And I was just talking to Mo the other day, and there's been other scenarios that had nothing to do with music where our energy has even changed in certain situations. You know what I mean? And the way we respond to certain, you know, people or things is different because, you know, I don't know. To me, that Kendrick album, not that album, that those songs to me were like, his responses were like a rallying battle cry. Honestly, that was, to me, that was kind of like a
Mike,
snap out of it. You know what I mean? Like, snap out of it. You know what I mean? And I just, it was just, I loved it. I loved it so much. I loved it so much.
Everything that you said, he basically is like, man, you're unevolved. You're not evolved.
Yeah, he's not evolved.
There's no evolution. You've been in the same thing. Like, you're not a grown. He literally said, I see a boy and not a man.
Yeah.
How does another grown man say that to another grown man unless he really feels like there's no respect there in that aspect, sir?
And he said it on an international stage, you know, and not to mention every rapper and his mom and his best friend had something that they all had a response. Like, I don't know why it still keeps cracking me up how Kanye tried to like throw his 2 cents. They were saying he had FOMO throughout the whole situation. I'm just like, just stay where you are. But it is just kind of like, that is kind of like messy Gemini energy where you're like, oh wait, y'all finally getting on him. Like, I'm coming too. Like, I want to put my 2 cents in. Let me put my 2 cents in. Let me get my kicks in.
Speaking of that, he brought up a very good point of what I've been trying to say to people, but a lot of people don't know this. Kanye, you know, man, but he brought up a very good point in what you're talking about. He said there's a guy named Lucien that basically has ties to whose shit gets spun on the radio. A lot of people don't realize this. Do you ever think about when you're listening to the radio why you hear the same songs over and over again? Even that's by chance. That's because people pay to have those the radio play those songs. It costs money to do that. Right. This guy had the power to constantly keep Drake stuff on rotation, and Kanye brought that up, and I was like, ooh, y'all listen, we know Kanye is, you know, whatever, but Kanye do be dropping some truth balls that make him appear crazy, but there's sometimes a lot of validity to that. And I just, speaking of that, but it was like Kanye go sit down somewhere at the same time.
I know. It was just comical. It was just, but it was just interesting to see all of our favorites who have collabed with Drake, who have performed with Drake, who in the past might have made an album with Drake. To see them all also giving a collective FU is just like,
Who are you? And this is the thing, just to put in perspective, Kendrick dropped Euphoria on April 30th.
Mm-hmm.
So we can touch on Euphoria if we want, but it's a little past that time. So I don't know if we need to touch on that as much. But basically, for those that don't know, in Euphoria, this dude Kendrick came at him, touching on what just said, kind of speaking for the culture and speaking for everybody. Like, niggas are tired of your shit is basically what he was saying. Like, matter of fact, we don't even want to hear you say nigga no more, actually, because we can't tell if you're for the culture or actually just using us and exploiting us. Like, by the way, I believe when you stand next to Sexy Red, you see two bad bitches. I believe that you see her as competition and you would pop ass with her. I mean, like, and honestly, that's what a lot of people
men like that. I met men like that.
I'm telling you, and
like,
and he gives
like, I know that. That's a very specific male prototype, and that's also why I'm like really glad that Kendrick called this shit out, because that person, that prototype, is also running rampant right now.
And you can kind of feel it, and it's not like something that you throw an accusation about. This man publicly went at Rihanna for what? Why are you publicly, as a grown-ass man, going against Rihanna? Why were you dissing Meg Thee Stallion? You're a grown-ass man. Do like that. Anyways, I was just
I was just like, in my mind, I was like, ew, I actually know men like this. And it's just so bad. It's
cringe.
It's cringe. It's cringe. It's cringe. It's cringe.
And honestly, so these are, I can't say all the shit that he said, but lines like that just let you know. But he still didn't get too disrespectful. Like, one thing that I could say that he didn't say that I was proud of, he didn't bring up in Euphoria Drake's baby mom, which is an easy target. That's a very easy thing to say. He didn't bring up, I don't think if he brought up any girls, he said the bitches that you're dating are not women.
Yeah.
Which is another thing, and because we end up realizing what he meant by that later. But in the moment, it's he was just hitting him at conscious things. He wasn't hitting him at nothing superficial, like, oh, my car's bigger than yours. Those things that typical.
Which is how Drake responded half the time, which was like, oh, you wear a size 6 shoe or some shit like that.
Superficial thing.
And oh my God, when Drake started singing that Sexy Red song on the diss record, I was like,
you proved his point. You proved his point.
You're doing exactly what they thought you would do. You are actually playing the character. You were playing that
even when he started the song off,
I take it back.
Don't take it back. It's real. It's real. Even when he started the song off with his mom saying, "I don't think you should use the word nigga," and he jumped on like nigga because you did everything. He baited you, you did everything. You proved everything. You went with your ego. You did real bad when you said, "Oh, you trying to free the slaves, huh?"
That was ridiculous.
As soon as I heard him say that line, I was like, you think that you can say it to a Black American person who comes from Black American slave diaspora, say, oh, you're trying to free the slaves, huh? It's going to make you look really bad. It's going to make you look 100%. Like a complete asshole. Instead of make you look like, oh, I got him with that line. Oh, God, you made yourself sound horrible by saying that. And it was a lot of that. Not to say that. It was almost like he was using
his team was involved at all. If his team was like, hey, like, did they coach him? Did they train him? Anything? Prep him? They clearly didn't prep him.
In my opinion, I feel like he has a whole rack of yes men around him. Yeah. Because if that were me, you as my friend.
There's no way.
Right? I'm Drake. You're my friend. And you knew I was about to go toe to toe with a nigga like Kendrick, a Gemini.
From the West Side. I would advise against it.
You would have been like, Ree, don't do it. You would have been like, Lee, don't do it.
Hey, baby. I know it sounds fun, but none of this shit's sweet.
You have nothing to gain from it. And then did you not learn from when Pusha T announced your child? Like, do you know that this man was getting paternity tests on open record while that song was coming out just to see, is the kid really mine? Because this nigga outed your son and made you claim him. You didn't learn from that, Drake? Let me see you, Pusha T.
Say Drake.
Pusha T. Drake.
Say Drake.
It was hard to watch, honestly. I was mad at first, and I was like I was very much like, fuck Drake. But then I felt bad after certain points. I'm like, Drake, what are you doing? Walk away. White flag.
Yeah.
Go stop.
Yeah.
Stop now while you can.
Yeah.
And anyway, going forward, we got to move through this. Just to put things in perspective, Kendrick dropped Euphoria on 4/30. Drake dropped Family Matters on 5/3. Ree, what did you think about Family Matters?
Honestly, I watched it on YouTube when it came out. Mo was here. We both kind of looked at it and we had the same face on the whole time, just like a And honestly, I felt really gross actually listening to it. I felt like I was like, it just felt dark and sinister. Not even sinister, because that would imply that he is like in some way fearful or embodies something
or a threat, even, because apparently you're really not to Kendrick. Apparently,
but it felt like icky. It felt like listening to somebody who is hurt and is pulling out all their guns and isn't being smart and is moving quickly and is just not
I'm like, they're still 13. I'm like, they're still 13 years old.
Yeah, like I'm surprised like he didn't sing over that song. Actually, did he?
He said that's the song I think where he said hands on your knees, didn't he?
Oh, the hands on your knees thing. Yeah, I mean, it just
I get it mixed up.
But in the video, then he was in the video, wasn't he? And he was just like, "Ew,
girl, that was so cringe." He literally had a whole video of himself showing off his money, still missing the whole point. It was like everything you're saying is what Kendrick is saying about you as a diss, and you're proving it.
The thing is, people like Drake. It's actually no point in arguing with them over this shit
at all,
because they don't see the world in a way that will allow them to comprehend the things that are coming out of your mouth.
He just sees himself.
He just sees himself. I mean, the bad bitch point is that to me just says it all. Like that it is. And this is, we've talked about this over the pause. We haven't really like dug in super deep, but like we have a bit of a pandemic, an epidemic of this kind of person, you know, and I'm going to leave it at that, but.
I agree, and I know that person that you're talking about, and there's an epidemic, and in their fairness, is an epidemic of women that have no class
it too.
right
yeah,
now.
100%.
So it's not just the type of men that are doing that, but it's also the women that don't have enough class to, just like Kendrick said, like you're not with real women like that that are settling for somebody like Drake or okay, I don't know Drake in real life, the persona he's giving off, but off record. We don't have to know him in real life because I'm sorry, I'm going to say this. There's an interview, I wish I had the snippet, where Wayne is literally discussing how Drake fucked his girl while he was in prison. If that don't speak about your character, I almost don't need to know shit about you in person. Your persona makes perfect sense as Drake because it's like, you are a fuckboy. If you have sex with the guy who put you on, the Black American guy who made you cool here. Because let's go back to when me and Ree were like really enjoying the millennial era in its entirety. When Drake had Lick 'em Like a Lollipop and all his not Drake, I mean Wayne. When Wayne had all the mixtapes coming out, he was popping, and then he introduced Nicki Minaj. He made Drake cool here. If Wayne didn't co-sign with Drake, I don't know how many Black Americans would have been like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to that guy. He gave him cool points to Black America. He did.
Points.
What I'm saying is Wayne put him on, okay?
Yeah.
And how dare you have sex with his girl while he's in prison?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I mean, honestly, once again, that is Scorpio behavior. I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but I'm gonna leave it at that.
That stings. So I mean, Scorpio men behavior, because I know some Scorpio women that like they only sting you if you sting them. Like they actually are sweethearts.
Let's just
I know some Scorpio.
I feel terrible.
We can cut it out, Shay. Don't feel terrible. I mean,
I do. It's true. But, okay, I'm sorry. It is true, but I'm not gonna sit here and say every Scorpio is like that, because I know there's
say that. Disclaimer: every Scorpio is not like that, but the Scorpios that are imbalanced, just like I can say, an imbalanced Aries is a horrible person.
Oh yeah,
an imbalanced Aries
you want to be around.
Is an imbalanced Gemini, Scorpio, Aries, anything but that type of unhinged inner surface, like deep inner thing that we bury. If we don't have help in healing and recovering from any traumas or any issues that we went through in our childhood, we can become really horrible people. And I'm just being honest. Like if I didn't get therapy, if I didn't have a mom that loved me, if you didn't have a mom and parents that really love you, not to say that Drake didn't have these things, but or sometimes you may have a mom that loves you, but she don't tell you, hey, act right. Like I don't know if Drake got spankings. Like that's what he's giving. He's giving, he never got his ass whooped when he was a son, and he's giving, he used to tell his mom, shut up, fuck you, mom, I hate you. That's what he's giving to me. And I'm gonna stand on that. That shows right now.
Yeah.
Like you really feel like you can talk to, because if you don't respect your own mom, I could be wrong, but the impression I get from him is that he never really respected his own mom. How are you going to respect women? How are you going to respect women? It don't even matter if you're a Scorpio or not. Now, if you are a Scorpio and you never learned to respect your own mother, oh God bless the woman that you're with as a man, because it's true.
Yeah.
Let's take the astrology out of it. I don't care what sign you are. If you are a man that does not respect your mother, you're going to have a hard time respecting women, because who taught you to respect the woman? Your mom came out of her vagina. If you can't respect her, who are you going to respect?
It's true.
And I don't know, Drake, but that's the impression that I get. Hence the reason why, didn't somebody say that he had like 34 engagement rings that he turned into a chain or something like that?
He did. That's
how did 34 women tell you no?
That's the thing.
How do they all give it back?
That's the thing that just irritates. It's just so annoying and corny. I think that's
who are you?
To me, it's very corny. It's like, okay, it's just like the Certified Lover Boy album cover with all those pregnant emojis. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, it's just so cheesy. You know what I mean? Like, it's just. But the thing is, Drake may be playing around or playing a part or whatever, but the thing is, he's also empowering a lot of people.
That energy. Yeah, you got people that look up to you, bro. So you're letting people. You can't be letting people think certain shit is and Wayne.
It has repercussions.
And Wayne
needs to go back to wherever he came from, but we got to sit here and deal with these and these women and these men and people who are, taking his shit for bond and acting out,
literally
and trying to live that life.
And literally, Wayne on record said, y'all can pull it up. Drake, when you come here, don't rap about what I rap about. Stick to what you know. Obviously, we know you're girl crazy. Talk about that. And talk about Canadian suburb shit. What did he start doing? Exactly what I'm complaining about. It's not that I hate it. It's just, it's annoying. It's annoying. Yeah. And I don't want to buy it because I got to believe in what you're selling. Meet the Grams comes out, which was dark. Because here's the thing. As soon as he dropped Family Matters, he did that video like he won and he was a king. And that's the problem. You could tell that you think you're really here and above people.
Yeah.
And apparently that's why a lot of people in the industry are like, come on, money. Like, you're not respected in that way. You're respected for making bops.
Video. I would never. I don't know.
Yeah. So he really
doesn't know how to move as a man, as a grown man. He doesn't know how to move.
He moves like a nerd who just got popular, who just started getting a lot of ass, and
who like never got attention. Over.
Yeah, and now he just don't even know how to act. And we've seen that before, but it's hard to watch. But at any rate, right after he thought he did something with that, Kendrick dropped Meet the Grams. And let me tell you something about that. I felt like I was at a funeral. I'm not a Drake fan, but that was I felt like, oh my God. I felt like I was in an episode of Get Out and he put him in the sunken place.
Yeah.
Remember when he made that man go to the sunken place with the tea? Yeah. I feel like Kendrick just said, now sink. And he sunk to the sunken place. Yeah. And I was sad for Drake. I was like, ooh, but I knew it was coming. He told you, and a lot of people, he went too low. No. In this previous song, he warned that man. He said, don't talk about my family. He said it.
Yeah.
And Drake did it anyways. You talk about most Black men's family, it's on.
Yeah. Actually, anybody's family. It's not a game.
Don't talk about my family.
All you want, but don't talk about my family.
And, and a lot of people be like, oh, no, Kendrick did too. No, Kendrick didn't mention Adonis's name at all in Euphoria. He said, I'm being a father, but you wouldn't know nothing about that.
Yeah.
You don't know nothing about that. He didn't say Adonis nothing. He didn't say your baby mama's name. He didn't say none of that shit. What you do? Brought up Kendrick's girl. What did he say? Oh, her baby might not be yours and you beat her ass and whatever he say. But here's the thing, Drake. You're not an upstanding guy. So for you to bring those points up are invalid. You're a piece of shit. On record. You can't talk about it. It wasn't a good rebuttal. But anyways, Meet the Grams came out. Reed, what the hell did you think about that shit? Because I was sitting there shivering. I was like,
honestly, every time he dropped unexpectedly, it just brought me so much joy and respect,
me too,
admiration. Because the thing is, it takes a lot to basically stand up to this industry and stand up to one of the biggest rappers on the planet, whatever.
Like,
talent and all that stuff. Like, it's the fact that he had the gall and the energy
we could
to push to put this out there. you know,
he
and
knew he could.
knowing that Drake has as many followers as he does,
He
knowing
didn't give
that
a
Gen
damn.
Z is, you know, a lot of Gen Z is like loving him, and it's supposed to be all at this point they're done selling to us. They want to sell to Gen Z now, you know. And Kendrick still did it, and he stood on business, and he did it right before Gemini season. And as a Gemini, he did it. He outsmarted him. That's the thing, Kendrick. It's
intellectual. He's cerebral. He's a cerebral person.
Yes, he outsmarted him. He out-arted him. He put that man where he needed to be in a creative and eloquent and energized way. And he gave us a club. And he gave us a club banger. Like what?
It's hard not to jump ahead because we saw what he did in its entirety. So it's so hard for me not to stay in the place because it's like that's what I wanted to say too. But he literally would meet the Grams. This is what this man did. This man spoke to him like he was his therapist and his stepdaddy at the same time.
Oh, I saw these comments that said,
"Oh my God."
He said they said Kendrick literally walked right past Drake and went and sat down his family members one by one and told them why
he said, Sandra, sit down. Your son ain't shit. By the way, Dennis, this is your damn fault because you ain't shit either. And Adonis, I'm sorry that's your dad. If you ever need a mentor, I got you.
Yeah.
Nobody rapping nobody like that before. Usually the rap star, even Tupac. Because a lot of people are like, oh, it's not true. Shut the hell up. Tupac didn't fuck Faith Evans, but what's the first thing Tupac said when he was dissing Biggie? That's why I fucked your bitch. That's the first thing he said. And it don't matter with beef. The beef is how good are your punchlines and how did you attack? This nigga Kendrick attached him cerebral, like in the brain. Like, oh my God. So here's the part, going to what you just said. After that, we're still trying to, I don't know, everybody was just kind of like, it was like a funeral, right? One thing about a Black funeral, right? You sad at first. You burying that body, the body in the ground. Oh Lord, you know how many? But then you go to that repast, and that's what we thought it was done. Here you go, Kendrick Lamar, the same night. He didn't even let that nigga breathe. He came. I mean,
and it was a Friday night. It was a Saturday night too.
Oh, girl, we was all still
we dropped it right around like 6:00 PST.
Yes,
like we dropped it right
I think 6:16.
Right before we
I don't know what time.
I don't even.
And he knew it was about to turn up. He knew he was about to hit the cookout because it was Cinco de Mayo weekend. He knew what he was doing.
Cinco de Mayo weekend, yes.
And you got to keep on. Here's something somewhere else. It's like he hit him from every angle. Yeah. Jake messed up and fucked up and said something about, oh, the West don't fuck with me. Who's next in the lineup? Like he won. It was just like the arrogance of you. Yo, you don't even handle Pusha T, and you're holding your head above water in this battle with Kendrick right now. You really think? And then he was like, I'm over. I'm about to go on vacation.
Not even from here. Like you it's not even part of your, like, don't do it.
First of all, don't ever say Drake. It's too late now. But
say Drake.
You can't say that. Say Drake.
Say Drake.
Say Drake. You can't say, oh, something about the West Coast and like put him in a lineup. Who's next in the line? Nigga, you're not even holding your head above water with the people that have came at you.
Yeah.
You had
that's to me is somebody who's like extremely, like, he's clearly not self-aware. He clearly doesn't have
arrogance
on his team to help keep him in check. Not even just in check, but just like
he has people around him, that's for sure. He has people around him, and that's for sure.
Yeah.
At any rate, we were like, he just got your ass. We were like, it's a wrap. It's like, and just when we were like grieving, it was just like a funeral. Going back to what I'm saying, it was like I was at a funeral and I'm like moping, and all of a sudden, here come all that soul food and all that good food, and then here come then here come the drinks, okay, and then people keep playing it. Here come the songs. Now we dancing and we happy because then Not Like Us drops. It was like a funeral and then a repast dinner. I'm telling you this. I ain't never seen nobody in a battle do it like this before. How did you feel being in LA when you heard Not Like Us?
Well, first of all, it came around 6 p.m.
He brought Cali together, yo. Like he brought California together.
And it was Saturday night, so I was already on one. I was already like sipping my wine and getting ready and hanging out. I was already vibing. So. And we had already had that first W earlier in the day or the day before when Kendrick dropped. So then for him to drop again unexpectedly back to back, and for it to be it's genius. He drops this banger right before the night, the sun was still out. The sun was still setting when he dropped it. And it's like, all right, perfect. Like you go on IG, you go and look at everybody's stories. Everybody is turning up to this shit. Like everybody is like, information. Kendrick had everybody in formation and ready for this. And it was just a gift. It was a really great gift, if you ask me. And then the next day was Sunday Cinco de Mayo, riding around. I'm telling you, everyone is playing this song. I'm hearing it out my car window. I'm hearing it as I'm walking down the street and people driving by and they're playing it. I'm hearing it. I'm seeing it on the TV. We're hearing it in the bars. We're hearing it at restaurants. It's everywhere. It
made everybody want to crip walk. And we're not Crips. I have to stop myself all the time because, like, as soon as I hear that, I'm ready to throw this, and I'm not part of the set. I can't be disrespectful like that, but that song makes me want to be like I'm in Cali. Like, it made me, that song. That shit made me want to jump on a plane and go hang out with Remo over there in Cali right now. That's what that song made me want to do.
It was great, and to know again that a Gemini was delivering the message.
Not surprised.
To know that a Gemini was delivering the good word. Okay,
the good word.
Not only were delivering the good word, they were speaking truths, and they were turning you up, and they were wanting you to rep your city, and they were wanting you to go inward and examine, where do I even actually stand on this battlefield? Am I on this side? Like, he's sparking conversations that haven't been had at this level. He's sparking us to look inward for a second and be like, damn, what do I want to stand on for the next, what do we want this culture to look like? I loved it. I love every fucking second of it.
And he left Drake spiraling and sounding defeated in his last battle. Like, a lot of his Drake fans were like,
the crazy part. A
lot of Drake fans
right now. Or what is it?
A lot of Drake fans were like, Drake's killing it. Drake, you got him. And I'm like, oh my God, the delusion. So that lets me know that your fan base, a lot of them are young. A lot of them are uneducated in how you get your ass beat in a hip hop battle. Because I noticed a lot of his fans, they want to hear a feel good song. And they think that if a feel good song that's like, hey, that sounds like a bop.
Like, if it's not a feel good song, it's not good.
Exactly. You won. If it's just somebody rapping with lyricism on a, because let's face it, that Alchemist beat was a classic, but it's a very depressing beat. It's not, hey, let's get in the club and wave our hands. But hip hop battles are not about the beat making you be a bop necessarily. They're about them bars and how deep them bars dug. And a lot of Drake's fans can't comprehend that, which speaks volumes on a lot of who his fan base is. So there you go with that. What did Kendrick say? I make music
pacified.
There it is.
There it is. How did he say it?
That's exactly what I said. He said, I make music to electrify him. You pacify him. And that's true. Drake, I can honestly say, when you are pacifying with your little hip-hop ops that you're good at, because a lot of people be like, oh, Drake writes a lot of music. Drake writes a lot of nice R&B, feel-good songs that women can bop to or that women can sing. Let's just keep it a stack. Drake could never write something probably for a Mos Def or even for a Kendrick. He can write the hook, though. He can write a really good sing-song, melodic rapping hook.
I think he should step into his power with that. I think he should step into his power. And he should just
what is he doing?
On that lane. Like go in that lane. You're good at this. Stop cosplaying something else and keep giving us these bangers and keep making us feel good. But don't for a second think that makes you king, because it just doesn't. That's not.
And that's where he fucked himself. He really thought, I'm king. I'm better than you. I can stand on the same level. And Kendrick just showed you, nigga, you're dumb. You're immature as fuck right now. I'm about to show the world how immature and you're low vibrational, immature. You have not grown up, and I'm about to stomp on you. And it shut a lot of people up, because a lot of people, Kendrick not that good. Kendrick came with this man with a bop pop hit that's going to be legendary forever. Kendrick came with this man with an Alchemist beat. Kendrick came with this man on this Euphoria track, sounded like a Shakespearean soliloquy in the beginning, and had 3 different beats on it. It was 3 different personalities in true Gemini fashion on each beat.
Go, girl, keep going.
I'm just trying to say.
I noticed that too. He literally was playing so many different parts throughout that song.
He was showing you.
They were all equally him, though. They were all equally him.
He was trying to show you, Drake, you can't be authentic, because you don't have nothing authentic to be. The image that you're selling is everybody else trying to copy all these young kids and everything else, and trying to copy Soulja Boy. Remember when Soulja Boy said, Drake? He stole my whole flow. And that's true. Drake steals people's style, because he doesn't have his original style. It's to sell to the Black American community. And that's how he won with his bops and everything. But here's the thing. You can't compare Kendrick, clearly. Kendrick. He came at him with every single different style. And attacked him like a machine gun Kalashnikov. I don't even know if I said that right. Kalashnikov, whatever that machine.
I mean, honestly, to me too, it was almost like he came with a knife. It was just like he just like sliced the shit out of him, like really, really precisely in the way that it exactly needed to be, and then dropped it and walked back. Like it was just,
oh my gosh,
like karate chop, and now I'm out.
He Bruce Lee that nigga.
He Bruce Lee.
He Bruce Leroy that nigga.
Yeah,
he did all of that, and it was hard. I went from being like get him to being like, okay, Kendrick, stop.
No,
get up, Drake, get up. It was like somebody watching their ass get beat, and then they kept trying to get up to fight, and everybody's telling them, no, nigga, stay down.
No, because the thing is, you can't. And honestly, I think Kendrick is also, he's also tapping into an age old learning life lesson that I think a lot of folks these days still have yet to learn, because we live in a different society than we did maybe like when you and I were coming up. But you just cannot run your mouth and expect
to anybody
or to anyone in any case, and not expect for that other person to meet you, if not exceed the energy that you're bringing. It's just not like, because I do think we live in a society where it's like everyone thinks it's okay to run their, to say whatever they want.
Talk your shit.
Yeah, and say whatever without any consequences.
That
Drake
part
on unchallenged, so to speak.
Your mic.
Drake has gone unchallenged, so to speak, all this time. And now, like, he's being shown, like, hey, like, I don't know.
Again, actually, because he did get challenged one time and Pusha T embarrassed the hell out of him. That man had to come out with the.
He probably could have
done more. And Drake backed out because he did. Drake backed out because he did obviously have somebody decent on his team that said, back out of this nigga.
Just don't.
And he listened that time. This time he didn't back out, and he should have. And I thought he was going to do what he did last time. If you notice, when Pusha T demolished him and his manhood, Drake came out with Kiki, do you love me? And that was my.
Well, he did that to distract. He did that to distract from this issue at hand. And he tried to do that.
That's what he should have did this time.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
That's what he tried
this time. But this time, actual talent and substance prevailed.
That part. That part. And I wanted him to not even, what he should have done is not even went to a battle with Kendrick. And that's what I was trying to tell people. And people are like, no, he's better than Kendrick. I'm like, what type of delusion does Drake have y'all under?
This doesn't even sound right.
He makes a lot of pop battle hits, but he cannot compare. This man is a lyrical genius. Do you know they study this man's lyricism in a college right now?
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah, I believe it. You can't.
He's going to do what he did. And the point that I'm trying to make is, I thought Drake was going to be smart enough to just basically be like, you know what, nigga, fuck you, I'm about to come out with the bop of the summer. And what did Kendrick do? Beat him to it. Drake really
put a Drake on Drake.
Oh my God.
He put a Drake on Drake.
And you wanted to talk that big boy talk. By the way, me and Ree do not condone violence in any way, shape, or form. But there was a line where Drake said in one of his songs, I'm reaching for my waist.
Bro, how many times did I keep hearing a Glock? How many times did I keep hearing a gun cock in that freaking song that Drake put out? I'm like, wait, is he serious?
Lil Wayne told him, don't do that dumb shit. You did not grow up how we grew up. In hoods like where Lil Wayne grew up. In hoods like where Kendrick grew up. Nigga, you literally had to sometimes join a set so you could be alive and stay alive in that hood. It wasn't like I'm joining the set for the fucking hell of it. It's so that I can stay alive, because that's how dangerous it is in my hood.
Right.
Drake don't know nothing about that. Drake don't know nothing about that. And the fact that you think that shit is to be played with, nigga, you some people say that Drake has mob ties, so he feels safe in that way. We get it. You have money, nigga. But let me tell you something. There are niggas right now that for $5 will do exactly what I think happened. Listen, to be honest with you, everybody knows where your house is. So there's a lot of people. Your mic is, sorry. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of weirdo fans, right? So going back to what I was trying to say, to stay on topic, I and Ree do not condone violence, but because we don't condone violence, we know about violence. We have families that took us out of situations so we wouldn't have to live and see violence. My family took me out of inner cities of DC when it was the crack era, just like Ree's family took her out of the inner city of New Orleans, because they knew it's a dangerous area for us to grow up. There's beautiful things. Shouts out to every hood and every neighborhood, because it breeds talent outside of this world. There's love in the hood. I'm not saying that it's only violence, but we know that violence in every hood is not a game. And Drake clearly think that shit is a game. And I had a problem with that from the beginning. When he said in his song, I'm aiming for my waist, I said, why? It was just so much shit he was saying that was literally, I'm like, why are you doing this to yourself, bro? Like, you're murdering yourself right now, lyrically and possibly in person. Because going back to my point, Since then, Drake's Toronto estate has had multiple security breaches, one resulting in a security officer getting shot and other trespassing attempts. First and foremost, his security officer, it was in critical condition. That's a whole human that put his life on the line for Drake. And I hope that we need to make sure that he's okay. So peace be to him and his family. And this is going to sound horrible. Take how you want. Two things crossed my mind. And I'm going to ask you what crossed your mind when you found out this happened. When that happened. I said, I know Kendrick didn't do this shit, but people like Drake and his team or his lawyer might try to pin it on him. But I know he didn't do this shit. But I knew there's fans out here that are going to run wild with this, that aren't mentally okay, and that for $5 will risk it all because they don't have nothing to lose. Sure. Or maybe they do have something to lose, but they don't give a damn because they're crazy, that we're going to do crazy things. But Drake opened the door for that. And it's not okay to do violence, but you can't talk about guns, have guns playing in your song, talk about you're aiming for your waist. I don't care if you were speaking for it metaphorically. Drake, you are not that rapper. And you really think you can because of your cosigns. What did Kendrick say about you going to Atlanta and having cosigns for all them people? It still don't make you tough. You're one of those. Stop. Stop, man. But at the end of the day, there has been a lot of breaching. The OVO store in London, because it's real top boys in London for real. And I know that you co-produced that show or whatever you did and had your stuff with it. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, whatever. But you're not really a top boy. You're not really you don't even have loyalty to Lil Wayne, so let alone can you do how he grew up. Like, come on. I don't condone violence, but Drake, you opened this door up. You spoke on violence and you're not about that shit. And it's not something that you should be about, but like, you don't know nothing about it, my Crody. Crody.
Say it out. Here's the thing too, and I want to make this very clear, at least from my perspective. When I did hear about the trespassing issues and somebody was critically wounded at his house, I did make me pause and I was like,
it was scary.
It was scary because I'm like, wait, at the end of the day, we don't want Drake dead. We don't want anybody to die over
Hell no.
We as a society, we have moved past the old days where like, okay, the rappers and then they both show up dead. You know what I mean? We're not doing.
Nobody need to die.
We are not
with
doing
all the
that.
hip hop players being targeted, because it's obvious that hip hop people are being targeted right now. I ain't gonna say by who.
And I say that to say I do agree with what you said though. Like, you know, you can't talk that shit, especially to somebody who's coming from that energy and those experiences and knows how to move in that way. You can't talk that shit to that person, and then you just can't do it. You shouldn't be doing it at all, period.
It's rules that Drake be breaking. You breaking the rules. Not to mention, we gotta bring it up real quick. Oh, your mic.
Oh shit.
Not to mention, and to agree completely with you, Ray, you can't do that. Just like you said. Not to mention, this is a tough subject.
What?
A minor. On record, Drake. I saw the video where there was a girl who openly said she was 17 on stage. And you kissed her in her mouth after she admitted she was 17 on stage. There is a video right now of that. Now, I don't want the interview or anything like that. But why I'm saying that is because everything that Kendrick brought up is stuff that is out there. He didn't bring up nothing that he pulled out of his ass. It's stuff that there's video footage of. You got a tattoo of Wayne after you fucked this girl while he was in jail. It's stuff that Adonis, you didn't admit that was his kid. So even if Kendrick lied and said you got a daughter now and you don't, we're all thinking it's possible because of how you handled the Adonis situation.
Right.
I only brought all of that stuff up is that there's actual things on record that you have done. And Drake, just go on your island right now and stay there for about 2 months and hide out because I don't want you getting hurt. He needs to.
He's too
he needs to. It's hard to watch.
I went Instagram story. What talking about like it's him versus everybody this summer, ready for some.
Now you're a victim. Oh, trick.
And what are you gonna put out? The same thing you always put out. The same thing you always put out.
And how are you a victim right now?
That's all just being your lane.
How are you a victim right now? The best thing you can do, Drake, for your safety, clearly. Niggas are shooting at your house.
Not for your health, not for your mind, not for your heart, but for your safety, bro.
It even crossed my mind that for him to play victim, that maybe he said, hey, somebody shoot at my shit so I can try to turn this around on Kendrick and make him the victim. It crossed my mind.
Too.
But that's allegedly. I don't know.
Because I just feel like he's just a messy individual. He's a mess. He's messy. He's sassy. He's like, you know, he's Trixie.
Sassy little thing. I want to even stop talking about him at this point. I don't know about you, but real quick, we do have to discuss that. Not like us. I'm trying to stay on point so Shay won't get me. Not like us. Real quick. One more time for the one time.
Wait, why am I seeing his mansion with the pedophile GPS?
Hold on. Hey.
Pretty girl.
Let me speed it through when he really gets on him.
This will be your last stop.
Do you know that he has an actual tour that he's on right now, and one of the last stops is actually Oakland?
Wait, and you know what's crazy?
Oakland is a rap. Oakland will disrespect you.
Wait,
it's not all of Oakland, but like they don't play.
Wait. So is he saying that? Wait, has Drake yet to go to the Oakland tour stop?
I feel like Drake would stupidly go there, but he better have security on top of security on top of security. He ain't gonna cancel. He's not gonna cancel. I want him to stop now. Like a lot of people are like, oh, you don't like Drake. No, I don't respect him as an artist, and I don't like him coming at an amazing artist like Kendrick. I don't want to see him get hurt, and it's like he keeps asking for it.
Yeah,
he keeps asking for it. And
he's not just in a rock and a hard place though, because he probably feels like he has to prove that he's unaffected by this stuff. But really, he is gonna, like, if he goes to Oakland, he's actually putting his life on the line. If you ask me, I would not do that. All jokes aside, I would not go.
Oakland is amazing, and there's a lot of amazing people that come from it. The Black Panther Party comes from it. There's a whole time where a lot of people that were trying to move forward and get out of that racist mindset that America had and still has, and we're like trying to thrive. Oakland's an amazing city in that way, but unfortunately, the history that has happened right now, there's an epidemic going in Oakland right now. Okay, there's kids that don't get meals sometimes. There's kids that don't have parents. You know what I'm saying? The homelessness in Oakland is really like exceedingly high right now. Mm-hmm. You know, like there's certain places of Oakland that need help and they're not getting that help. Thus, you know, more violence. People got to eat. Violence is going to occur. You know what I'm saying? If people are hungry, they don't know where food's coming from. Violence is going to occur. I'm an Aries. I don't know where my food is coming from. I can't tell you what I'll do on some survival shit, you know? So at any rate, and I think you touched on that last time we were having the debate about the diaspora. You're absolutely right when it comes to that shit. But at the end of the day, Oakland has beauty, what I'm trying to say, but it also, it has been known that some people won't sometimes even do a show in Oakland.
Well, I'm not even saying it from that perspective. I was saying like, he shouldn't come to California. Like he should not go.
He just got it because he fucked up and called out the West Coast. He called out the West Coast and said he was next. It's like, why would you do that? You made it something that it wasn't even, Drake. You made it something that it wasn't even. You did that shit.
Yeah.
Like, why did you do that?
Like, I'm not. I would tell him the same thing I say about him performing in Oakland right now. I would say the same thing for LA. Like, just stay away for right now. You should stay away.
He might be able to get in LA because LA, certain parts of LA, he can go to Malibu. He can totally go to Malibu right now. Go to Malibu, just don't tell people that you're there.
His LA properties for sale the other day. He's getting out.
Aww. I'm sorry. I can't feel bad. I feel bad. I don't want him to get hurt, but this is the bitch move shit that we all saw.
Yeah. You should just stay
You're scared now and you're trying to hide. Do the right thing. You do have a son. It's not just about you. You need to go on an island for 2 months, hide out, get some therapy. And if you've already gotten therapy, fire that person and get a new one, sir. Get a new therapist and get right with your spirit, sir.
Yeah.
Because no. Anyways, not like us. Bro, a lot of people don't really realize that. Not Like Us broke a Spotify streaming record to become the most streamed American hip hop song in a single with 6.59 million. Okay? A lot of people said Drake is better. let me tell you, Kendrick showed y'all real quick. If I wanted to be in that point, I could.
Exactly.
Kendrick is not about that. He's not. I could do this. It's nothing. That's not why I do this. I'm a science with the pen, boy. Yeah. I'm a scientist with the pen. I do it because I'm in love with this shit. I don't do it for the fame. I could have that and there's a lot of artists out there that they're not doing it for the fame. They do need to make money, but they're not going to do it at the cost that you do it, Drake. They're not doing no shade to Sexy Red, but they're not doing a music video with Sexy Red because that would lower their brand. Just that, God bless her. I'm glad she gets what she gets. It's no shade to her, but I'm just saying, like, Kendrick Lamar is never going to do a song with Sexy Red.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen. So I'm just saying. Anyways, to end this, do you think it's over? Who won and why, Ree?
I think it's over. If you don't think you won, then you're probably never going to understand at this point because
absolutely
the baseline just isn't right. The foundation isn't right. So, and that's okay.
It really is.
Okay. Just step to the side. But yeah, I think it's over. I think what'll likely happen is this. Drake will probably drop. Actually, Drake has no choice but to drop a banger.
He needs to drop a summer hit. He needs to Love Me Part 2.
You need to go to DJ Khaled's office and knock on the door and be like, what do you have for me? And run it back like he did that last time.
And pay people how he always pays people to work with him. Because let's be real, the only reason some people work with Drake is because he pays them to do it.
Yes, he needs to deliver a summer hit. And then we'll move forward from this. And we will welcome him back into the fold, honestly. However, he needs to just know.
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. And I think he very well may. Because here's the thing. He poured his heart and soul into that bullshit that he gave to us over the weekend when he was responding to Drake.
And it was not good.
I guarantee you Drake has no other guns other than this.
The last track was like, no, I didn't. Prove it. I was like, oh my God, you sound horrible. You're just defending yourself right now.
I didn't even listen. And that's the thing. Like, knowing that, he has no choice but to drop a banger. He has no choice but to
do what you do, Drake. I actually want you to do what you do and just drop your song for the girls.
He has to do that next because the thing is, he's nothing left to give to this beef. He's only going to continue to embarrass himself. Kendrick probably has about 6 more They not like us is in the vault just waiting on, standby. And his best bet is to try to get us to forget about this. We'll never forget.
Absolutely.
He should just
it's embarrassing forever.
Just go in a completely in a different direction.
There's forever a song out there that says, "Dear to your mom, sit your ass down. Let me tell you how fucked up your son is."
And it's number one hit.
I never heard no shit like that.
And it's
my
gosh, records. Like, it broke streaming records. I think it was some other. I can't remember what it was, but he surpassed some Taylor Swift record that they had, Drake record that they had already.
He showed y'all said I can't compare to Drake, and he showed you if I wanted to, I would. But in order for me to compare to Drake, I have to move like Drake, and I'll never move.
I have to lower myself to Drake.
I'll never move like him or any of these young boys that lower themselves to certain standards just so that they can be about. Just like a lot of these women. You think all these women that are dressed like a shipper right now that just want to rap are doing it because they actually want to be on there having their ass and their coochie out, talk about pop that pussy for a sugar daddy? No, they're trying to make it. They're trying to make it. Like, for real. If I wanted, let me say, because we all know I used to rap. I try to rap. If I wanted, let's say I was still a young 22-year-old and I wanted to go in the industry right now, that is not me. I am naturally sexy, don't get me wrong, but I will never bend over backwards and say, now lick my coochie, nigga, so I can get a band. That ain't never going to be me. I would have to do that to make it in this industry currently.
Yeah,
there's a lot of guys that have to pretend, just like Drake is. It's just that Drake is really good at doing melodic flows. I give him that. And he has a lot of good, probably Jewish lawyers and everything else that assist him to get his money and write things in writing that get him more money. But at the end of the day, I'm just trying to say, Kendrick just proved I will never do that. You know what I'm saying? Some will call it selling your soul. Some will call it whatever. Certain people, like Lauryn, a lot of people ask, where did Lauryn Hill go? People kept pushing her to do that. And she said, fuck it all. I don't need to do this shit because I'm not in this industry for y'all to watch me jump, hop, and skip and make a fool out of myself. I love music. Let me do music for the love of it.
Yeah.
There's people that literally disappeared because they're like, I'm not going to do that. Now, Drake is choosing to do that. A lot of artists are choosing to do that. It's a choice. But anyways, Kendrick just proved that I really do this. And you can't even keep up right now, young man.
The crazy
and
part
by
is
the way,
he
grow
didn't have
up.
to prove it. He never had anything to prove, but I think in
He
this
never had nothing to prove.
But I think in this situation, I think he never had anything to prove to those of us who are hip. But I think this situation, I do think this was necessary. I'm so glad he did it. I really think, like I said, I think he stood on business for a few different things that needed to be addressed from someone at his level, from someone who was respected and who's gonna deliver the message in such a way that it got your attention. I mean, these dudes, everybody was just drinking every last lyric. Like they were dissecting every last thing. Like people are listening.
Listen, I don't even stay in tune with current shit. I was glued to what's going on next. Cause it was the lyricism was up here. It was whew.
Yeah.
If I was Italian, okay, for real. With that being said, Ree, you have a great point to end this discussion really quickly. Where will this fall in rap and music history? You being there and experiencing it in Cali firsthand with that banger, They Not Like Us. And what makes this different from other beefs? Whether it be in the past or current beefs, because there's some JT and Sukiyana beefs right now. We ain't want to talk about that because I don't got the energy.
I don't think I've experienced a beef between two artists like this or seen anything at this level since the Tupac and Biggie shit, like from back in the day. Honestly, like I can't. The Pussy Tea was a big moment, but like, it wasn't like this. It wasn't like this. It wasn't like they were playing ping pong. That at one point Kendrick was like boom, boom, boom. Like it. I was enthralled. And I don't know if it's because of my age at this point. I don't know if it's because, we are close to them as artists at this point. But like, this felt to me the closest to what they might have been feeling back when it was like the West Coast.
Absolutely.
Back in the 90s. Like,
and that was scary because I didn't like that because it got scary really quick because infiltrators infiltrated. And unfortunately, we lost two great people because of the infiltration.
And that's part of the reason why when I heard like a guns sound effects in the song,
why are you doing that?
Security card getting shot. I'm just like, okay, hold on, y'all. Like, let's keep it classy. Like
what are you doing?
All the other shit coming, but just know, like, we don't want either of y'all dead. We don't want Drake dead. We definitely don't want Kendrick dead. So it's like, it doesn't have to go that far. You know what I mean?
And but Drake, why are you putting a gunshot in your song? Stop.
Yeah, that was just corny. That was just everything I would expect.
It was like a chihuahua barking. That's what it sounded like when I heard a gun in your song and you talking about you aiming for your waist. Stop it.
He might have a super there or like so like
he has people that he pays. He has people that he pays that I'm sure can shoot the shit out of someone. But Drake, sir, goodbye.
He's not about that.
Aubrey, that had the bar mitzvah. Goodbye.
I even seen some clips of him from back in the day as this all, was playing out. And of course, they're like resurfacing all of his like Degrassi content and all of the episodes.
Oh, Lord.
And I'm just looking at it. I'm like,
when he was in the wheelchair.
I'm like, oh, he is an actor. At the end of the day, he's an actor.
I said that from the beginning. That was my whole point in the beginning. And Shay was like, no offense to Shay, because she had a point. She was speaking on behalf of a lot of the people that are fans of him. They're like, no, but he is great and he is a good writer. But I was like, but you have to look at the substance of what he's writing and who he's writing for. Yeah. He writes melodic styles that are kind of like for girls. Like,
he writes
not that you can't.
He writes stuff that's
meant to be catchy bobs
and broken down into bits and like. But that's the thing. It's like if you're really
different.
Artist, like what? That's not usually your lane.
That's not what you just tried to do, and why you got bodied the way that you did.
Yeah.
Anyways, so what? It's safe to say that in history, how will this go down as that he got his ass beat, or do you think there's really Drake fans out there that are like, oh, he got him?
I think there's definitely Drake fans that, because I've seen him on Instagram. Because sometimes I'm just curious, and I'll like see something. I'll like go to his page. Because I don't follow Champagne Pop anymore, but I'll go to his page and I'll look at his just to see. And they're hyping him up, they're gassing him. It's like the complete opposite of what we're talking about.
Even after They're Not Like Us?
Yeah, even now.
Wow.
They just are standing for their man. That's
crazy.
That's the person that they look up to. That's their favorite rapper, and they're standing for him. They're saying that Kendrick is a hater. They're saying that Kendrick's washed up. All the things you just said. Kendrick. The whole Free the Slaves comment that
washed up.
Just like
he just uncled him. He just Uncle Phil'd him. You know how Uncle Phil takes Jazzy Jeff and he throws him out of the mansion? That's what he just did to Drake.
He did.
This nigga got to move out of his own mansion.
Yeah.
gotta move out of your own. So in the last week of Pusha T, you learn your lesson. You had to introduce your son to the word. Now this time you gotta move out of all your houses. If you try to do this shit, Drake, again, I might come and slap you. You know he needs his ass whooped. Like I mean, like a good old auntie style. Get the belt and lay that and wear his ass out.
Bloody. I just want him to be like, he just needs to be like knocked around him. Like just like a couple of love taps and then sit him down and give him like notes and make his tears stop falling and then move on. Like
he needs a black mom right now. He needs a black mom right now. He needs my mom. He needs my mom right now. He needs Carolyn Wyman to just mom him right now. There's some things that I'm sorry, you can only learn from a strong black woman.
Yeah.
And she needs to sit down with him and have that conversation. I don't know if he's ever had that. You need that conversation with a very strong, smart, wise black woman right now. Sit you down, put you in your place, give you the support you need at the same time, speak some truth to you, because whoever you got in your ear, they're not really your friends if they let you do this straight. They're not. I don't know if you hate them to be your friend like Kendrick. Anyways, with that being said, I just want to in my take, thank you for sharing your take, Bree, because I think you always word it so perfectly. Let me get my ADHD together. I'm not joking. I really got this shit. I stumble on my words. Okay, here it goes. In my opinion, to sum it up, Drake was responding to K-Dot to defend himself in that last song. That was just embarrassing to see. I didn't even want to see him go out like that.
Wounded dog or a wounded wolf.
And he was like, that's why you and your wife are getting a divorce. Oh my God, you sounded like a 17-year-old going against a 50-year-old man, honestly. And I know Kendrick is not that old, but he's wise like that, you know? Yeah. So even if Drake, yeah, he is, but you would tell he might be a little bit of an old soul, one of his personalities. Anyways.
He's just a grown man.
Even if Drake fed K-Dot, because you remember, there was a point where Drake said, I set him up and gave him that information. How sick is it that you gave somebody information that you're a pedophile?
But that's something
I can't even believe that. Nobody would do that. So I know you made that shit up. Yeah, that's just stupid.
It's conniving.
So just to say stuff like that and those being your responses, or you basically, in this opinion, yes, Kendrick annihilated you lyrically and tactically in every way, consciously. You basically annihilated yourself and murdered yourself and battled yourself. Like you didn't even have to do this. All you had to do was come out with one hit. And everybody was gonna, all your fan base, the young kids, the women, the guys that think like you, they were gonna be loving you in the club, and you would have money in your pocket. And it's just crazy now. It's not too late. I just don't feel like he's gonna walk away because of his pride, and that's scary to me because like I said, I don't like Drake. I don't believe his music and buy him, but I don't want nothing to happen to him. And the way that he's moving, it's like, boy, what are you doing?
Though, because based on what he posted on IG, I think he's done. I think he literally posted something.
He's scared now? I think he's scared.
No, he didn't say that, but he was just like, let me pull it up.
Yeah, you think he's scared though? I think he's shivering in his boots, but he just can't show it.
He said something like, good times, summer vibes up next. And it's basically him. It's on some like almost looks kind of Game of Thronesy. It's basically him.
Oh Lord.
With like a crowd of people against him, like he's the last, lone warrior or whatever, just
Instead of asking yourself, why does everybody hate me? What do I need to improve on?
Yeah, he's just slow. He's never gonna get there.
But seeing something like that makes me believe that he's not going to stop and he's just going to do something else. Anyways, Drake was so distraught in in one of his captions in one of his songs. He said, "Since you're going to put another song out, in 6 minutes," cried. Did you see his caption? In that last one, in that one, but it said, "Since you're going to put out another song in 6 minutes and post in my address," that like you're crying like a little 15-year-old. That was a cry in a caption. And
it's like, we didn't have to get your address posted. You've been telling us where you live since you got in that house. Like
braggadocious, Aubrey.
Where he lives. Are you kidding me? It's all over the internet.
You did this to yourself. All he did was point out stuff that's been all over the internet and demolish you with your own shit. With your own behavior. Like he didn't use anything against you that's not out there. He used your own behavior that you're doing. Anyways, with that being said, Kendrick won, right?
Yeah.
Can everybody agree that Kendrick won? It's settled.
Without a doubt.
Everybody.